Welcome to another episode of Footprints in the Market. Today we have Michael Baker-Mosley joining us, who is the CMO of IGP. Thank you so much for joining us, Michael.
Thank you for inviting me along. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. So I thought what we'd start off with is just maybe a little bit of background on yourself and your journey within the iGaming industry, if you could give us that.
It's probably not the most usual of routes into the industry. So I started agency side. So I used to work for a WPP agency, working on accounts like Adidas, Nissan, well-known brands. And then I upped sticks from the UK and lived in New Zealand for a couple of years.
Oh, wow.
And used to work for I was the brand, went client side and was the brand manager for a plywood manufacturer.
Okay.
Still today is one of the best jobs I think I've ever had. Anyway, when I came back to the UK, there aren't a lot of plywood manufacturers in London, at least, and so I ended up getting picked up by a fantastic marketer at Canby, the global sportsbook business, and joined as their brand marketing manager, and finally left as head of brand marketing before leaving the industry for a period that we don't talk about anymore, before getting pulled back in as the CMO of IGP.
You came back though, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, I'm a proper boomerang now.
Exactly, it's fine. So was there a culture shift between your job in terms of like the plywood and then going straight into the iGaming? Was it a bit of a culture shock?
Well, I think iGaming is a culture shock, isn't
Yeah.
it? Compared to so many different industries, and I think that's probably why it was so difficult for me to leave and come back.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it always depends, isn't it, with marketing, if how important industry experience is, and how much of it is a process that you can, the science side of marketing versus, say, the romantic side of marketing, the Emily in Paris side of marketing. So I think, thankfully, I did slip into it quite well.
Perfect. So what excites you most about iGaming in terms of the marketing and the technology element of it? Because obviously it is a fast-paced industry. It is niche and it is different. So what do you kind of think is the most exciting thing about it?
Yeah, I think that fast-paced development. Currently everyone's racing to Brazil. When I was at Canby, everyone was racing to the US. We're going to be racing to somewhere else soon. I think that is pretty addictive, and it's very exciting. The technology as well. We work in an industry that is actually working with quite complex technology. The millions of customers, and it makes it interesting and exciting, and that attracts great talent, which it has the industry's got it really going for them. Just being able to work with fantastic people, and then coming like you and I, living in little Britain, we it's an international first industry.
Yeah.
You need to be global to have scale for a lot of these technology companies. So for me, that is just the ultimate thrill, and I think from a marketing point of view, being the challenge of working with or working against, I suppose, in competition, established brands with big old budgets, and being able to come up with ideas to try and break through the noise so you can build your own little brand. I mean, that challenge is just super exciting.
Well, yeah, that brings us on to your role effectively at, IGP. So for people who might not be aware, I think most of us will be, but would you be able to run us through like the sort of core product and how it serves the iGaming industry and the challenges that it might have?
Yeah, so IGP's been around for quite a few years now, but as historically as iGaming platform. So actually launched in 2016, and the business as a as a whole was, I suppose, quite happy building for itself almost. It was originally a group of operators looking for a platform solution that they couldn't find on the open market.
Yeah.
And then what's happened over the last few years is they've sort of accelerated themselves. To their ambitions have grown from just serving their original operations to then bringing that to a wider market. And so platform is the key to us. From there, our operators can launch sportsbook, casinos, crypto solutions as a whole. And then we most recently launched an aggregator in September 2023. So we're fast developing that as well. But the two cores are platform and aggregator.
Awesome. And obviously, iGaming in general is becoming a bit more crowded than what it once was, and their expectations are getting higher as the sort of industry and technology evolves. How do you guys differentiate yourselves within that competitive landscape?
Yeah, that's interesting. Actually, I generally, expectations are increasing, but not for all operators, and I would argue not in every aspect. I think the quality that operators have available to them, we've said this before, isn't amazing. The flexibility isn't amazing, and operators seem to accept it quite happily. So I think the way that we are trying to differentiate ourselves is it's difficult. We're not trying to make any huge claims, but we are trying to be a little bit more flexible than your average platform on the industry. We are trying to move a lot more faster and agile, and then we're trying to offer these operators through our own technology, but also partnerships, like a real depth, I suppose, to the features that they can access. We use this term about taking control. We're trying to offer operators the ability to take control because of the tools that they've got available, and that message, thankfully, is starting to penetrate for operators. But it's it is quite crowded, and like I said, there's some big old beasts out there with very large budgets. So we are slowly but surely just eking the message out, I suppose.
I think you're 100% right, and see what you're saying from the whole taking control element of it. I know from an agency side, what we've had in terms of one of the biggest challenges from our operator clients is the flexibility of platforms, and how this affects SEO, how this affects their ability to scale and personalise it to the client's needs. But it sounds as if that's something that you guys understand and that you're kind of taking into consideration when you're developing the products.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to. I mean, the operators themselves, when they're going out into the marketplace, it's incredibly difficult. You've got to be of a real size to build your own platform now. It's maybe 10 years ago, you could have done it. You could have pushed yourself to do it. Yeah. But they have to take what's out in the market. And I think there is so much appetite, so many new entrants into the marketplace that, us taking that space of being flexible and it is working for us, because it's not easy to do. And we talk about us building it right. We've built the product up to be able to scale, and the aggregator, for example, the guys built it the core of it in 6 months, which is just onto the platform, fully integrated, which is just outrageous in a good way. But that's how we're trying to get our message out, I suppose.
That kind of leads me on to my next question, because obviously you talked a little bit earlier about the iGaming space being a little Britain, which is 100% true. And then with that, you would think that there would be challenges within marketing a B2B platform within that space, because it is such a kind of small fishbowl. But then obviously you're talking about these new entrants into the market. Is that where you kind of see IGP fitting in a little bit, because you have this product that's perfect for people who maybe aren't big massive standalone operators but need something to kind of start them off and then get them to scale?
There's that great middle ground that we're looking to target in between the two. So we are targeting sort of middle to large enterprise, medium to large enterprise, I say. I think the experience that comes with working with medium to sized enterprises, that experience is invaluable. I think there are a lot of well-financed new entrants who perhaps don't have the experience, and you quickly see them pop up and then they pop down again because they might have the money but they don't have the experience. So I think for us it is all about those middle to who want to go to the enterprise side, and that's where the scalability is really important. One, the scalability to bring them on in the first place, and then to I suppose realise their ambitions of what they want to do. Since the start of 2024, we've got a new management team, we've got a new deputy CEO, and our ambitions with that new management team have grown into we want the established players. We want the ones who've got real ambitions to drive their brands in global markets.
Awesome. And how do you tailor your marketing messages to cater to those types of prospects?
I think with great difficulty at the moment. We're not a huge team, but I think the challenge with flexibility, if something that we're trying to drive at the moment, and that feature rich is that it's the same of going to a restaurant with a really big menu. Makes you very nervous. That you sort of look at the menu and you think, how can one person cook all of this? So we do find this balance of how can we tailor it so that that operator has it themselves. And what we've actually found is the easiest way is for them to build it themselves. So I suppose the layer below the marketing that everyone sees is this ability for operators to explore the products, put them together. And they do it themselves. It's a far better response than if we do it. It's sort of, what would you call that, reverse tailoring. Build it yourself, and then we don't have to. But those sort of messages penetrate better than I think us going out into market. And if we wanted to, we could literally just go blah and just dump a load of information onto the market. But that's not what people want.
No, 100%. I think as well, definitely what I've noticed from my GP's perspective is a great presence at conferences. So like when we were just back from Lisbon, you guys had a great stand, and great kind of stuff there. And I think that what's potentially a little bit different when you're marketing a B2B product within iGaming is that conference element, and obviously that relationship building element. Is that something that you guys see as like a critical part of your overall strategy?
Yeah, the conferences are sort of, to a certain degree, mini strategies, marketing strategies all in one. It's the place where you build brand, generate leads, and convert people. I don't think there's any part of the any other marketing tool that does it so effectively as conferences. But I think we definitely see the conferences as an opportunity to bring everything else to life. The marketing campaigns, the content we do, the articles we write, the emails we send out. I think we know when we're doing a good job and we have a good conference, it generates the leads that we want. People are moving down the funnel. Sales guys pop out of rooms and say, right, we're going to sign that deal now. But they are the physical embodiment of all the other work that we've been doing for the last 3 or 4 months, if that makes sense, to build up to them. So they're super important, but they're just, I suppose, one tool in the toolkit, in the arsenal that we have.
Yep. I think for us as well, we always have, as well as using conferences as like a lead generator, it's like great for our sort of retention rates as well, because it gives you that sort of face-to-face interaction with the clients. What kind of role does customer feedback play in shaping your overall strategy? Do you guys, do you strategize after a conference and say, we've had X amount of people say this about our product, or X amount of people say this about our marketing, and this is how we need to shape our messaging?
Yeah, so especially where we are, I suppose, in our life cycle. I suppose, even though we've been around since 2016. We only had the rebrand at the end of 2023, so we do see ourselves as a startup. And so we're not the biggest company out there. So customer feedback is just one of the sort of the metrics that we use. That qualitative feedback is always instant. If you share a beer with someone, it's always normally especially quite good after you give them a couple of beers as well. But yeah, it does power us probably more so today than it might do in the future once we become a little bit more established, and things like market research and other analytical tools about how well you're doing or not doing can take it over.
And are there any emerging markets or like sectors within the iGaming industry that you think hold like great potential for your platform? Normally, when I've been asking this question, actually in the back of my head, I've been thinking, geo-targeting. But actually for you guys, I'm thinking not only geo-targeting, but like product related or product specific.
Yeah, so I mean, I suppose there's three avenues that we're really chasing at the moment. I mean, from a market perspective, although Europe is our home, we are chasing, making moves into LATAM as well. So just with the rest of the market, we're playing that game. But yeah, we are generally interested in other emerging markets like Africa and Asia. But from a product point of view, the one that we're really excited about and the one that we launched at Lisbon is crypto.
Okay.
That flexibility of inherent in the platform. We're also trying to bring that to crypto. I don't think we've seen it really go, mainstream in a big way. It's still seen as something a little bit exotic and something for some people over there, sort of, to do. But it's not for me. Where the way that we approach all of our products, so crypto, I think in the next few years is going to go big. And I think actually, if people did their research, they'd realise how big it is already. But rather than dealing with one single nation, you're dealing with a couple of % of every nation, who are big into crypto and therefore lend themselves to a crypto sportsbook, a crypto casino. Not to jump on the bandwagon, but AI, obviously, the amount of data that goes through our platform, but most platforms, it is just scary. And the people who have used it mainly have been, the product guys, and maybe, you might get an entrepreneurial CRM person, but we see AI as a way to really enhance the experience. So we've got game recommendation coming out, engine coming out, which is AI powered, which is, I've seen the test for it is amazing how quickly it can learn about the user and offer them the content they actually want. But we are looking at other places that technology can support the business.
It's interesting because throughout this series I've had like so many people, obviously AI is like a massive talking point and there's like such different views on it. Obviously you guys are saying that it's so really, really successful in terms of like product development and how you can personalise that and create a great product. Do you ever use it in terms of marketing at all? Do you ever use AI for that?
Yeah. I mean, ChatGPT. I'm not afraid to say that I live in there now. It's amazing how quickly. I was talking to someone internally about it, actually. It's amazing how quickly I've adopted it into my daily routines. And everything from mocking up images to uploading pieces of data that need to be analysed to sanity checking copy before it goes out. We use it quite extensively within that. Where we haven't let through, and again, this is because where we are in our life cycle as a marketing team, we're not drowning in data, but eventually, to be able to do that I think is going to be is probably our next step.
Excellent. Now, what I was wondering if you'd be able to share with us, Michael, was maybe an example of like a particularly successful campaign or a strategy that you guys undertook at IGP that maybe has shown considerable growth just for maybe like newer entrants that are kind of coming on and listen to this and can have something to learn from?
Yeah, I think it's a different one. So we're still learning about who we are as a brand. And, for non-marketers or non-brand people, that might sound a little bit wishy-washy, but I do come from the school of brand where, they are living beings that grow over time, right? So, but what we did was, I think this is the most successful because it's the only one that I've ever done where people were WhatsApping me, just going, "What the hell? What's going on?" But we did this campaign called Road to Lisbon, where it wasn't. I mean, I like to say it was big or clever, but it really wasn't. We took a signed Pele shirt from Rio to Sao Paulo to Malta to Amsterdam and Lisbon, basically. Right?
I remember this campaign.
Yeah.
I remember this campaign.
And at Casino Beats, what we did is that so this shirt was in a glass box, basically, wherever we went. And at Casino Beats, we staged a robbery and we posted it on social media. Now, in my mind, at the start, when we posted this on social media, the top of it was, CSI alert. But we posted a picture of the box on the floor. The shirt had been stolen. People started WhatsApping me in the morning. Like, oh my God, what's happened? Somebody said, I can't believe this has happened in Malta, in Casino Beats. As if, so I think for exposure, and that's probably the most successful one, there was a serious side to it. We were building up our marketing database. We were building up our email communications. We were able to collect thousands of opportunities, thousands of leads, good engagement. It was mainly an event element, I suppose, we were taking around, but actually it was fully engaged with outside the event as well. And you're talking about the other competitors. We were able to pull that campaign off for a few $1,000s.
Oh wow!
Because it was the cost of the shirt. The events cost is a little bit higher, obviously, but that wasn't the purpose of the event to take the shirt. But that that's probably not the most scientific metric for success, whether or not people contact me. But I feel like I've done better work that people haven't contacted me about.
But that's the whole point, though, right? Is to get people talking.
Exactly that. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So I've just got one last question for you, Michael, and I've been asking kind of all of our speakers in the kind of webinar to give us their best piece of advice that they would give anybody starting into the iGaming industry. So what you wish that you knew when you started that you maybe do know now?
I think the biggest piece, and this isn't just for marketing, but it does help marketers in general. They should, whether or not they're B2B or B2C, they should pick up the phone or go visit, but they should speak to their best customers. Speak to the top 5 best customers, whoever it is, and find out why they work with that particular company, why, because those best customers, they will know all the best bits and they will know all the worst bits about your brand. But you can say that for anything, whether or not you're in operations, customer service, they'll know all the best bits and all the worst bits. I think especially for marketers, if they do that, you're going to be ahead of the competition. You're going to be ahead of at least half the competition. I genuinely believe that. So go speak to your customers. It's not difficult. Buy them a beer, give them a telephone call.
And I think as well, see, because it is such an international industry, there can be that not complacency, but for people just to be, we'll just sit and Skype, or we'll just do whatever, and it'll just be kind of like that, rather than putting that effort in to kind of really listen to them and kind of feedback and hear what they're saying.
Yeah, and I think especially if you're at the start of your career or even the start of a new business, you can very quickly build up a picture, and you can also be very independent at that point.
Yeah,
they're going to be willing to talk to you at that point, just to probably because they hope that you can make it better. But they will do it.
Definitely. And I think as well, iGaming is one of the, well, I might just be biased because I've been in it for so long, but it is like it is one of the friendlier like industries where people are just kind of happy to talk to you and give you feedback and kind of share that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I must admit, when I put out the back signal, when I had that period outside of the industry, and I said, guys, I want to come back. The amount of people that helped me get back in, find me an opportunity was absolutely amazing. I've got a far more deeper appreciation of it than I did before I left. I must admit. Yes, there's nice people in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of nice people, thank you so much for coming on our
No,
webinar
thank you.
and sharing your experience and your takeaways. It's been great. So we really, really do appreciate that. Thank you so much, Michael.
Pleasure. Thank you.